What's up, everyone? All right, so in today's episode, we're gonna go over the easy to borrow short squeeze. We had a big move today on a stock that was easy to borrow. Typically, when I see that a stock is easy to borrow, I assume that the first pop probably won't hold. It'll be a little choppy, and that's because anyone can short it and it's free to short it. You don't have to pay to borrow shares. So because it's so easy to short, traders who like to short will be more attracted to those stocks that are easy to borrow. No commissions, right? No borrowing fees anyways. So it pops up, it pulls back, predictable, no surprise, but then it curls for a second attempt, and boy, this thing really took off. It ended up going from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10, all the way up to $11 a share. Now, in spite of that huge move, I didn't do as well on it as I think I could have for a couple of reasons that we'll break down during the recap. So let's go ahead and jump onto the screen share. Up right now, $36,403.90. That adds to the $102,000 I made yesterday, plus $35,000 on Tuesday. This week is setting up to be a really solid first week of December. It's only the first week of the month, and I'm already kind of closing in on $200,000 of gross profit. Wow. All right, so we're in a hot market. Now, I should remind you, my results are not typical, and trading is risky, so please manage your risk and take it slow. I encourage you guys to practice in a simulator before you put real money on the line. Now, we have a simulator that we offer at Warrior Trading. It includes real-time level 2, and it also includes halt levels and resumption prices, which a lot of traders really like because you don't always get that data at commission-free brokers. And if you're not getting that data, then you're kind of flying blind when you're dealing with stocks that have the potential to get halted. And well, Terra was a stock that did halt several times today. So if you want to learn more about being a member of the community, we have a 2-week trial. It's 2 weeks for $20. You can watch over my shoulder during that time. You can see what it's like to be in the community and to test out our tools and everything else. All right, so Terra was actually not the first stock I traded today. The first stock I traded was BJDX. So BJDX coming into 7 a.m., top of the hour. This one hits my scanners. Let's see, BJTX. Was it TX or K? Well, wait, now I'm losing track of it. DX. So this one, again, an interesting move here. It started after hours, it sold off, and then pre-market, it rips back up right here at about 6 in the morning. So if we get zoomed in on this chart, this is what we had to work with on BJDX. Big squeeze here at about 6 a.m. It sells off, goes below VWAP. Then coming up to 7 a.m., it pops up, it pulls back, and right here, I took that trade. That trade right there from 650 to 7 to 750 to 8 to 850 to 9 to 950. What a move. $21,000 of profit at 7 a.m. on this move right here. So by 7:30, I was already up $20,000 on the day, 4 times my daily goal of $5,000. That was good. Now, let's get dialed in on it though. Let's kind of break it down where I actually bought and sold. All right, so if we pull this back here, this is a 10-second chart. So BJDX is kind of consolidating right here, and I actually took this trade before 7 a.m. It wasn't quite 7 a.m. yet when I took the first trade, and I bought at $6.69. That was my first entry, and that was actually, what happened was we popped up right here. We went sideways, and as it broke right there, that's where I took my first trade. So I bought at $6.69, which is a nearly perfect micro pullback, right? That's that micro pullback that we love. So pops up, micro pullback, boom, I'm in here. It goes right up to 7, up to 720, up to 780, up to $8, up to 820, peaks at about 840. So right there, that was a phenomenal move. Now after that, it pulls back, comes back down to 7, and then watch, it's gonna curl up again. Right there, it pushes higher. So right here, this I would say was kind of the pivot. So you could almost say it's like a little inverted head and shoulders. And as it broke this level here of 750, right there, it goes right back up to 8, micro pullback up to 850, up to about like 870, dips back down and holds the psychological support of $8. Now this is a little tricky because the previous high was here. And so the fact that it broke to a new high and then came below that level, I was like, I don't know. And as it pushed higher here, we ended up having this topping tail. Goes up to 950, but then drops down. And I said, I don't like that topping tail. I think that that's a problem. So it ended up coming back down, a little bit of a rejection candle here, and sort of unwinding coming into the open. So those are my only trades on BJDX. I traded early, didn't have any more trades, but at that point I was like, all right, well, look, I've got a cushion on the day. So now it's time to look for the next stock. Something else hits my scanner, I'm going to jump on and try to get another nice trade. So I got that first trade on BJDX, and then Terra is on my scanners. So Terra hits the scanners. This is the chart. So pretty impressive move, as you can see here, from 350 all the way up to a high of 1150. That's solid. There's no question about it. And it's easy to borrow. So I can see it's easy to borrow right here on my level 2. E means easy to borrow. Just for example, STSS. L means it's hard. You have to locate it. So you have to pay for the borrows. So Terra, it hits my scanner and I pull it up. And the first thing that I notice is, well, it's got a 10 million share float, but that's fine. It's still pretty low float. But what I'm thinking, RKDA, what a pain in the butt. So I'll talk about that stock in a second as well. But what I'm thinking about on Terra is the chart looks decent. So initially, when it first hits my scanner, I'm thinking, all right, this is cool. It pops up at about 7 a.m., hits a high of 460, then drops all the way down. Right? Pops back up, drops down, and I'm thinking, well, it's easy to borrow. This is no surprise here. Then all of a sudden, coming right in here, it starts to pull away. And so I actually took my first trade right here. And that first trade, it was a small winner. Right there, it made like a couple $100. It didn't really work that well. I got in for the break through 520. It goes to like 525, then drops back down. It just didn't pull away. So I was like, okay, well, that was, but it's easy to borrow. So it's trickier. So then I got back in, it dips back down. So this was hit a high of 529. It dips back down. And when it curls back up, I got back in right here. But once again, I was getting in for the break over 5. It only goes to 513 and then stalls out. So a tiny winner again. Then it breaks 513. I get back in here. It goes all the way to 540, but it's a topping tail. And it drops back down. Comes back up, double tops, dips down, comes back up again. I'm like, all right, I'll take another trade on it. Goes to 580, but then it pulls back. It just can't quite hold, so it's not pulling away. So I'm not really able to make decent money on it. Then all of a sudden, we get this interesting pattern here where it goes below VWAP. And I actually got in right here at 5. Break back over VWAP. Small trade, it pulls back, and then as it breaks this level, I got back in right there for the pulling away from VWAP. So that ended up being a really nice trade. Dips down to 6, comes back up, and gives us that really nice squeeze up to about 725. So what ended up happening for me today, I can't jump on the whiteboard. My whiteboard camera's off. That's fine. So what ended up happening to me today is made $21,000 on the first trade, and then made about $5,000 on the sort of second group of trades, and then right up to here, got myself to up $40,000. Got some really nice profit on it. And then I gave back 5,000. I think it was right. Let me just double check. This candle here, 845. Let me look at 845. So I gave back 5,000 on Terra. Yeah, it was. So I actually had 2 losses on Terra. I had a loss right in here, and I had a loss right in here. And I was getting a little annoyed because I was giving back some profit. So I peaked at about $44,000, and then I dipped all the way down to up 28,000. So I gave back some profit. I lost on Terra. I lost on RKDA. So RKDA was the other one that I lost on, down 4,000 on it. And I lost on Fox, down 2,000 on that. So I had 3 losses basically back to back. The thing on, this was my loss right here on RKDA. I sized up as we were pulling away and slams back down. So lost 4 grand on that one. And look at the jackknifes on it. Yikes. Finally pulls away, but how do you trust it? And then I lost on Fox as well. So I had a couple losses, and then I thought, well, what's the most obvious stock? And at the time, I thought Terra really is the most obvious, but is it going to pull away? Because that was a problem. It kept kind of chopping out, chopping out. And then finally here, so I took a loss at this break of 750. It goes to 755, then drops all the way down to 7. So I took a loss there. Comes back up, and I was like, I don't know. I'm nervous to add back right here because look at what it did the last time. I don't want it to dump again. So I wait for it to pull away. It goes to 8, and I end up adding at 8 and adding at 850, and the thing goes right to 950. And then this was crazy. All of a sudden, it rips from 950 all the way to 11, and I added into that squeeze, but I was in too high at about 1075, and I actually gave back about 8,000 off the top. So I went back to up 44,000 and then gave back 8,000 off the top. The way this was squeezing here, I was just thinking like, if this keeps going, we're looking at 12, 1250, 13. You know, I'm looking for that real powerful short squeeze, but it sort of topped out there at 1150. I didn't sell. And then by the time I was selling, it was dropping back down to 1050 and all the way back down to 10. So it had a big swing there from 1150 down to 10, and I was on the wrong side of that move, unfortunately. I was in down here, right? I had taken some trades right at the break of 8, so I had this trade, but then I got out right here and then got back in like up here and then stopped out here. So anyways, you know what? If there was ever a week to take a little bit of risk for me, this is certainly it. We've been seeing some really nice momentum. I've been stepping up to the plate. I've been trading with bigger size. I'm being aggressive. And look, we keep seeing 100, 200% squeezes. Terra right now still up 100%. So the peak of this move was, let's see, from there all the way up to the top. Let's see, this went up to, I don't know if I'm on the right candle, 225%, something like that. RKDA, that one's currently up, let's see, 248%. It's choppy and I'm red on it, but you know, it's good to see the price action. The thing with RKDA is that the catalyst is a merger, and I don't usually like, can be a tricky catalyst. So in any case, we got two stocks that made some really big moves today. So we've got momentum, this is good, and we've got liquidity. The volume on RKDA right now, 48 million shares. The volume on Tara, which is easy to borrow, is already at 79 million shares. It's going to have over 1 million shares by the end of the day, I'd guess, at this point. I mean, it's got some serious volume. So what that means is that I don't have a problem jumping in with 10,000 shares, getting out with 10,000. 20,000 in and out, 30,000 in and out, no problem. Not getting that much slippage. So now 30,000 shares, I get 30 cents, that's 9,000 bucks. I do that 2 or 3 times. Next thing you know, I'm up 15, 20 grand, 30 grand. Unfortunately on Terra, I got chopped up quite a bit on it. So like I said, a little annoying, but I got to a point also where I was like, all right, it's starting to get to my window closing. We're starting to get to the point of the day where if I make a big mistake at 10:30, I'm running out of time to recover from that mistake. So now I need to start scaling down. I don't want to, ruin my day at 10:45 and by taking a big loss. If I take a big loss at 7:45, I still have a lot of time to recover. But if I do that same thing at 10:45, that's not going to work. So I'm thoughtful about my risk sort of at different points of the day, trying to be more aggressive early and then taper down a little bit as I'm coming to the end of my window just to protect myself. So right now I am just pleasantly surprised by the momentum that we're seeing in the market. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I just keep showing up every single day and we're seeing some great action. So if I look at my, and again, by the way, for those of you guys tuning in on YouTube, if you have not already checked out a 2-week trial at Warrior Trading, I think you would love it. You'll be able to use my scanners, you'll be able to use the charts, the news feed, and you'll be able to listen to my broadcast in real time, which I think you'll appreciate. So it's a 2-week trial for $20, and there'll be a link pinned to the top of the comments. But if we look at just year to date, so I've only imported one trade, I think, for December, but October was the best month of the year for me so far. $407,000 of profit. I should say my results are not typical, in case you didn't know that. Trading is risky. I've been doing this for a long time. So that's what gives me the comfort to take the risk that I'm taking on some of these trades, because I am taking a lot of risk. I mean, I'm being aggressive, no question about it. So anyways, 400,000 in October, 339,000 in November. And as we sit here right now on the month of December, almost, I mean, $175,000 or so just this week. So, look, it could slow down next week. I might not get much, but if I have 5 more days like today, I mean, December's already shaping up to be a nice month. I mean, it's already, the third, fourth best month of the year. So it's already kind of outside what was the average at the beginning part of the year when things were a little slower. So I had a good month in February, and then it would slow down for like 4 months. And then all of a sudden, boom, July, like out of nowhere, we got just big momentum. So July really took off. 4th of July was when, I'm pretty sure the beginning of July, that's when we had a couple big moves tied in with GameStop and stuff like that. And then, yeah, August, September cooled off a little bit. And then October, market picked back up. We had stocks. Look, I mean, if we have stocks hitting the scanners that have good news catalysts, they're going to go. But sometimes you go through these lulls where there's not a lot of good catalysts, and then traders just get gun shy. And even if you have something that does pop up with a decent headline, people are kind of conservative about it. So anyways, right now, I'm just keeping my head down. I'm trying to, get in, get green, build a cushion. Once I got a cushion, then size up and take a little risk. Had a chance today of this being like a really, really solid day. Kind of fumbled a little bit, but stepping up to the plate and swing a little bit harder right now still seems to be the right move. The market, I think, is definitely on our side for momentum traders. So I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. Hope to see you guys in the chat room live while I live stream. And as always, I'll remind you, trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so please manage your risk, take it slow, and practice in the simulator before you put real money on the line. All right, I'll see you guys back at it first thing tomorrow morning.